Dobro jutro. 8 ujutro, nalazimo se u waterfrontu jer idemo na brodić, na trajekt i idemo na Robben Island, znači mjesto na kojem se nalazi zatvor gdje je Nelson Mandela bio zatvoren 26 ili 27 godina. Imat ćemo tamo turu sa bivšim zatvorenikom koji će nas provesti kroz zatvore i objasniti nam sve o Robben Islandu. Tako da idemo. Platili smo turu oko 70 i nešto eura. Znači imate ju i na bookingu, imate ju i na Get Your Guide. Stavit ću link u opisu. Kaže da će tek sad otvoriti most na koji trebamo proći da dođemo s one strane. Evo, otvara se vrata. Kaže da se držimo lijeve strane. Clock Tower. Mi idemo u ovaj Nelson Mandela Gateway to Robben Island. Tu se u kanaliću tuljane kupaju, ali sad ću probati da ih ulovim. Vidite ga kak se džira. Joj, života ti. Evo našeg brodića, evo tuljane i dalje se džire u pozadini. Morate imati osobnu ili putovnicu sa vama, jer inače neće vas pustiti da prođete na karte, samo da znate. I eto nas, ukrcali smo se u feri. Mislili smo gore sjedati, ali fosili su se već nagurali gore, ono, nemaš mjesta gdje sjesti. Tako da došli smo ovdje napred skroz prve sjedala, zato imamo više mjesta za noge. I to. Čekamo da krenemo. Neki lik stoji na ulazu u brodu i ono slike i kaže stanite kao da vas sliknem prije nego odete u zatvor. I kaže vidimo se za 18 godina. Cute. I eto nas konačno krećemo. Rekao je lik da imamo 30 minuta otprilike plovidbe do Robben Island. Idete pogled na Table Mountain. I sutra ujutro će biti tamo oblačno, zato smo odabrali danas novo da idemo, a vidite još je i ok. Tako da sutra definitivno ćemo na Table Mountain odraditi. Možda čak i danas kad se vratimo. Eto ga, nakon neke pol sata vožnje, plovidbe, stigli smo na Robben Island. Nama je bilo more relativno mirno, ali svejedno je bilo jako ljuljkava vožnja. Tako da, ako slučajno imate problem sa plovidbom, rađe si uzmite tabletu za seasickness kad dolazite. I sad nam je kapetan rekao da trebamo ići tamo prema autobusima, da ćemo autobusima dalje očito. Pa ajde da nađem pa ću vam pokazati.
Attention to visitors, we have just arrived on the island. Please proceed to the buses.
Proceed to the buses. Eto. Idemo. Ali je rekao Island of Peace? Uglavnom, idemo prema autobusa, dakle brodić se ovdje iza sparkao, a mi idemo ovdje u autobusem.
uns gehen mit
da
trotz.
se nađemo samo koji je naš autobus ili ne, vjerojatno nije ni bitno. Bomo vidjeli. Znači, prvi dio nam je tura ovak s
When the
autobusom.
Dutch East India Company arrived, they were in shortage of manpower for hard labor, so they banished some slaves to the and in communal cells. And prison labor was used to build this prison. These stones were excavated from the blue slate quarry here on the island. But I won't be telling you much about it, as you'll be visiting the prison later on.
Kratko isto kao i Prison Island na Zanzibaru, dakle otok se koriste kao zatvor.
Is coming up to our right hand side. One has counted 1,500 of these graves.
A također i ozbiljno bolesni ljudi od neizlječive
And
bolesti
these
su
leprosy
stanovali na
patients were
ovom
discriminated
otoku.
against, so they were taken away from their family members
Sad se
to
vozimo
be
autobusom
kept
na
out of
Pariha,
sight, out of
sad
mind,
na turu
and
s
out of place.
zatvorenikom.
Because it was believed that lepers as lovers, husbands and wives, but they were separated according to their genders because the authorities didn't want them to reproduce in the fear that babies were born from those couples, that they would also be infected. Yet there were 41 healthy bouncing babies that were born, and those babies were adopted by the families on the mainland. And leprosy disease affected the nerve endings. Your face would be swollen so much that your parents couldn't recognize you, or half of your body would go numb, not function at all, or if you touch a hot stove by mistake, you wouldn't feel any pains, or you would develop some lumps and bumps on your fingers. So those patients were discriminated or stigmatized. Hence they were sent to
Ljudi koji
Robben
su imali
Island to
lepru
basically
su
die
donosili
here,
svoga
because
umri,
there was no
pokopani
cure
se
for them at
tu.
the time. And in 1931, the buildings would state where you come from. Your employment information was included in this dom pass, your fingerprints and taxes. Now dom is an Afrikaans term meaning stupid. So black people had to carry these stupid books wherever they were going, and they restricted them into certain areas and at certain times. And if the police would catch you without a dom pass, you would face an imprisonment of 6 months or a fine of 60 rands. I know 60 rands could be nothing today, but during those days it was a 4-month salary for a black person. You wouldn't move from one city to another without authorization from the police. Carrying your dom pass, it had to be stamped. You wouldn't have visitors sleeping over at your house without getting permission from the police, getting the dom pass stamped as well.
Sad kad smo stali da vam malo ispričam, jer žena Bog te priča ne nestaje i još je toliko nekak spora i dosadna, zaspala sam 15 puta. Uglavnom, nazvan je otok po tuljanima, zato jer je bio pun tuljana, a na nizozemski rob je tuljan, Robben je tuljane u množini, i zato jer je bilo ovdje kolonija tuljana, zato se nazvao Robben Island. Znači, Nelson Mandela je ovdje bio 18 godina i još 9 u drugom nekom zatvoru. I prije bilo kriminalaca, ovdje kad su prebacili na drugu stranu, u drugim zatvorima, ovdje su ostavili političke zatvorenike. Kratko pričam. Vidite, ovdje imate ovaj okvir gdje piše Robben Island Museum i pogled je iza na Table Mountain na 12 apostola. I tu su iza i pingvine. Ili vidite? Jašnjatiće manje. Hvala Bogu, gospođa završila sa razgovorom. Znači, uspavala me skroz. Sad će nas preuzeti bivši politički zatvorenik koji će nas zatvoriti u ćeliju 45 minuta i objašnjavati nam o povijesti zatvora. Nam sad će biti malo zabavnije od ove žene. Ulazimo u zatvor.
Wherever we are, feel free to take pictures. And of course, do ask questions. Otherwise, my name, Sipo. The surname is Msumi. In the cells. But for now, do know that my stay in the prison was a 5-year stay. 5-year sentence. Also arrested for political reasons. And then along the way, I'm going to be using these dark glasses. I know it's not a good look in front of the people you are wearing dark glasses. But because of my poor eye condition, I have to use glasses when it's sunny like this. My eyes are in a big problem. They were being released from the prison. Two, more importantly, they were the last political prisoners to be released from Robben Island, April 1991. At that time, we were already as a country going through big political changes, moving away from apartheid, going towards democracy. There were already political talks taking place, preparing our way forward to democracy. So as part of early agreements that were reached during those talks, it was that political prisoners must be released. So these guys were released in that kind of environment. Get a taste of what kind of personalities we had in the prison. In dreadlocks, real name James Mange. He was doing 25 years. At first, this man was given a death sentence. Luckily, never to be hanged, because each time they sentence a political freedom fighter to death, there will be strong protest against that death sentence. People demanding that that person must not be hanged. So he was saved from being hanged because of those reasons. Brought here, it was like a big second chance in his life. In the prison environment, this guy proved to be very talented in making drawings as well as composing poetry and composing music. Self-made name in prison. We used to call him German. And then this one had a very unusual nickname, General Information. Yes. But when I was around, simply called General. Why he was called General Information? Highly knowledgeable individual. Highly knowledgeable individual. Always reading, always reading. That's why he was so knowledgeable. Histories of the world, cultures, religions of the world, scientific stuff, this guy will always give you detailed information. He was doing a life sentence. But mentally, emotionally, very strong guy. You could not even suspect that he has that heavy burden of a life sentence. Makucha. And then this one, if you want a hearty laugh, if you want to smile, you feel like you are not feeling good on that day, you have to stay close to this guy. He will make you laugh, he will make you smile, he will make it a beautiful day for you. Because this man was also naturally gifted in telling jokes and telling lots of funny stories. He was like our prison comedian. Real name, Tebuho. He was doing 15 years. 15 years. 10 years plus 5 years. Nickname, Chopper. Why call Chopper? Prisoner saying his head looks like the helicopter chopper. But he didn't care. He didn't care because he was a big joker himself. As a form of violence and foul language. But you'll also get guards that are not bad people, not violent, not even using disrespectful language when they talk to you. Geldenis, good example of a good guard. We used to call those good guards. Geldenis. Sometimes talking amongst each other, we will always be asking ourselves, what brought Geldenis in this environment? What brought Geldenis in this environment? Because he was just a sweet individual. Sweet individual. You just could not connect him with this kind of environment. So not all the guards were necessarily bad. But before being brought here, we used to be arrested by South African security police. You can't say the same thing about South African security police. All South African security police were brutal, were torturing people to death from time to time. So you can't say some of them were okay. No, not with the South African security police. Yes. Between 62 and 65, it was a prison built by prisoners.
Zatvor napravljen od zatvorenika. Idemo mi unutra sada.
6500.
Idemo unutra u zatvor. Samo da sad zna, danas je to muzej, nije više zatvor, jel te?
Prisoners were allowed to play only on Saturdays.
Znači, subotom su mogli tu igrati, nogomet, vježbati i tako dalje.
During the day, we were using sports equipment donated by international Red You can sit down.
Prije su spavali na ove na podu, poslije su u 79. dobili
This is how the sets out.
znači 46 ljudi bilo mjesec.
1,000 kilometers by train, Durban to Cape Town. each one of them spending 30 minutes with me, and then take another 2,000 kilometer trip by train back to Durban. It was always a special feeling to meet them. Also understanding the sacrifice, traveling all these distances, and also understanding the bravery that they had to show. They had to change the idea of visiting that place. Lawyer was allowed to see you. Forget about your parents or your wife or your husband. Not even a lawyer will be allowed to see you. You'll meet your lawyer for the first time in court when you appear in court. But my sister, my mom, were always going to the offices of the security police in Durban, demanding that they want to see me. They told me these stories after I was released. But the security police were already telling me when I was in solitary confinement that your mom keeps coming here, your sister keeps coming here. They say they want to see you. That's never gonna happen. La, 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 la. They wanted to see how I am going to react. Yeah. So apparently they kept coming, dismissed, intimidated. They will try and scare them, but they will come back. Eventually, security police realized that, hey, these ladies, even when we scare them, they keep coming back. They know it's not going to be allowed, but they still come back. They want to see this guy. So one day, they gave them a compromise. They gave them just a small chance. Because the more you are in solitary confinement, the longer you are in solitary confinement, your people will even start thinking maybe you are already dead. Maybe they've already tortured you to death. So one day I'm in my cell as usual. And then the security police opened the first gate. They opened the second gate. They then also opened this steel door. After opening the steel door, they closed this one. They closed this one. And then from there, they go back to the corridor. Standing at the corridor, they ask me small questions. How are you? How did you sleep? How was your breakfast? I'm standing there answering these questions, but I'm thinking, why these small questions? And why are they standing there in the first place? Not here next to me or in the cell as usual. I didn't know that on that day, in the same corridor, meters away from these security police, out of my sight, because I could only see the security police, just meters away. My sister was right there, my mom was right there, blindfolded. Their eyes were closed like that. Even their mouths were covered with something. So that even if they want to say something, they can't say it. They can't say it. Why blindfolded? So that they don't get to know in which prison am I being kept. So when they were driving them to that prison, they could not even tell where are we going to, because they are blindfolded, they can't see. But they tell me they didn't want to do anything to disturb that arrangement.
Idemo vidjeti ćeliju jednom da je bio zatvoren, ovdje vidimo WC i tuševe. Ne možemo doći do njih. kaže li, pitala sam ga, kaže da su ga tretirali kao i svi ostali zatvorenici, da nije imao neki posebni tretman. Dobijali su, ne znam, po 18 pisma godišnje. Kao ako si htio dobiti više pisma, na kraju godine si morao napisati zahtjev i onda bi ti odobrili recimo još 10 više. I kaže da je Mandelu stiglo, ne znam, u jednoj prilici za njegov 60. rođendan 54.000 pisma, od koje mogu dobiti logično samo par. Ali kaže samo 6 ih je bilo iz Južne Afrike.
Their leader was with Mandela there in B section. The 6 statues, one of those is that guy. The one with the arms outstretched like that is a dimna image of their treasure.
Kaže, od svih 54.000 pisma, samo 6 ih je bilo iz Južne Afrike i to sve njegove obitelji, jer su se ljudi bojali da mu šalje pisma da ne završi u zatvoru isto kao i on. Idemo prema njegove ćeliji. This section, F section. Yeah. Idemo još tamo. To je ta ćelija izgleda.
This is Mandela's step. You want the podcast is Mandela's step.
Sad ćemo da četamo. Čekamo da se svi poredaju, da stignemo do njegovu celju. U međuvremenu evo druge kako izgledaju. Evo još ćelija. Sad ćemo stići do Mandelinu ćeliju. Vidite ove dolje, po ovo su spavali prije. I ovo je njegova ćelija. I došli smo do njegove ćelije. Vidite, s obe strane ćelije, mini prozorčići gore. Ja evo, ne mogu zamisliti kako bi ja provela jednu noć u zatvoru, ne pa više. Ljudi moji, ja bi poludela vjerojatno automatski. Pogledajte, vidite. Znači, krevet. Tek su 79. godine dobili krevetiće, one na katu tamo u onaj drugi section. Ovo vjerojatno za otvaranje pritisneš i nećemo pritiskati da ne dignemo neku uzbunu. Iako ja bi. Zašli smo iz zatvora, bili smo dobri za good behavior, pustili su nas van ćelije. Šalim se. Uglavnom, zatvor je napravljen sad muzej i odradili su dobru foru, tipično turističku, bivše zatvorenike, vode kroz ćelije i tako dalje. Mislim, super priča, ne? I zapravo način da saznaš više o tome kako su ljudi živjeli u tom zatvoru unutra, kakva prava su imali, odnosno nisu imali i sve ostalo, tako da bilo je zabavno. Idemo sad prema brodu, usput ćemo proći kroz još jedne lokacije gdje su navodno dolazili ljudi koji su im dolazili u posjet. To su isto zatvorenici napravili. da imaju ljudi, da ih ljudi posjećivaju. I onda idemo naprotiv, vjerojatno idemo nazad za Cape Town, jer mislim da je to tura traje neki 4 sata otprilike. Našli smo Moldavu. Evo ga. Eto, naše mašine. Idemo Krotoa, skoro pa Kroacija. Piše Robben Island, a living memory of resilience. Idemo nazad u Cape Town. Opet Robben Island, da smo bili sada. Pa tamo Cape Town. 12 km udaljen. Vidite ovdje oko waterfronta imate preko ovih restorana, kafića, Table Mountain okvir s pogledom naravno na Table Mountain. Idemo dalje, vidjela sam tamo Starbucks kad smo dolazili pa pokušavam doći do njega. Ali vidite kako je lijepo ovo područje. Milina. Mislim da s ove strane nema prolaz. Juh, kak fino miriše nešto. Baš lijepo. Kak lijepo sviraju, slušajte. Još jedan put Google kako nije upravo, pisalo je za Spur da je permanently closed, znači da ne radi više uopće. A evo, krenula sam u Starbucksu i našla Spur, radi otvoreno puno, tako da sad ćemo se naručiti, pojesti si fino, jer u Namibiji gdje smo jeli u onom Spuru hrana je bila odlična, a nije skupa i ono, baš jedva sam čekala sjesti i da si naručim nešto. Ja sam naručila cheeseburger, passion fruit cordial, ovo mislim da nije passion fruit. Sad sam naručio neku piletinu u načnosima s nečim, sa nekom salsom i ne znam šta. I još, krivo sam otišla pogledati ovaj pogled iza Table Mountain. Table Mountain hrana, lijepi dan. Šta još više treba čovjek? Naručili smo i ovaj lava cake. Nešto, ali ovdje su jako spori, u Namibiji nismo toliko čekali, znači godinu dana čekam kolač da mi se donese, a trebam kavu piti. Glava me boli. Ja se iskreno nadam da taj vrst desert vredi sad vremena čekanja. Znači, obično čekam, nije mi problem, ali sad me već glava rastura, a gledam Starbucks na 2 koraka od mene i ne mogu doći do njega jer čekam jebeni desert sad vremena. Tako da ja se stvarno nadam da je dobar desert, inače psovat ću sve živo i divo.
Da, I'm full. Okay, then. Then, 100 days. Yeah, don't you even think about it. You'll be the next meal on my plate, I think.
Ne loš, ajde. Bar ne.
It's good for you. I'm missing like good people here.
Ne loš. Pazite vi ovu ekipu, naučili su se tu po stepenice izlaziti i tu da se skupljaju. Pogledajte ih i tu uživaju. Vidite i ovaj iza u vodi kako se stoji. Dakle, pogledajte, oni imaju sil platform. Ovaj se sad tu iza skakrio. Ali on se okreće tu, igra se. Ovi su tu izašli, sunčaju se. Pogledajte ih. Kak su razigrani. Joj, koja sreća. Joj. Kak ih je lijepo vidjeti ovak. Kak se čoha, pa je, vidite ga. Ne mogu doći do onu platformu tamo, jer ispod nje su isto hrpu njih ugurane. Od tamo nam je brod kretao jutro za Robben Island. Znači ovo je sil platform. Nisu ovdje zatvoreni, nego sami izlaze i silaze kad god hoće. Osvježenje. Vidite most. Otvaraju, zatvaraju kad prolaze brodovi. Sad možemo mi preći s one strane.